Welcome back, Maine Outdoor Adventure guests. I know we haven't done much videoing. I know Sarah's done some this year so far this summer. It's been just kind of a hectic, rainy spring for us. So just trying to go out and fish or go camping. It just has not been in the cards to do that.
No, it's been pretty bad. And so we've been talking a long time about doing some kind of podcast, and we thought we would film them like while we're doing something. So we actually went out to fish while filming this. And I don't know if you just heard thunder. We came back. We'll just do it inside. But we're going to do a bunch of these, try to do something interesting in them. Do a little storytelling, some stuff about us, because we don't talk that much about us.
No, we don't. We haven't, and definitely I want you guys to know who we are. You guys watch us a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have subscribers all over the U.S., or maybe over the
world.
In
the world, yep,
so,
we do.
Definitely want to let you guys know who we are. I mean,
yeah.
I'll let Sarah kind of start with.
So it wasn't like I'm not going to talk on and on about us, but fun fact, we haven't known each other that long. We met fall 2018.
We did meet in fall 2018.
And we are both definitely true Mainers. We've both almost lived here our whole lives. I lived almost my entire life here in Franklin County. Moved to Somerset for a while. That wasn't right. Had to move back to Franklin County.
Yeah. I lived in Oxford County all my life.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, so we kind of met in two different counties, but something brought us together.
Yeah, imagine that. So how our channel got started, I think it was 2020. We were on Chain of Ponds ice fishing, and he says, we should video ourselves doing this and make a YouTube channel. And I was like, and I thought, that's the stupidest friggin' idea I've ever heard. And I don't know what changed my mind sometime later, and I really don't know.
No.
But somehow I changed my mind and we started. And we were a disaster, to be honest, at first. You can go back, look way through our videos. We have so many to the beginning ones. They were not very good. I don't know how long it took us to even get to 100 subscribers, but it was a while.
Forever.
It was mostly people we knew who we asked to subscribe. And our videos sucked. And it just took time. And I know there's a lot of people out there trying, and people get frustrated. And I'll say two things. One is just have patience. We just had patience and kept trying, and eventually things took off. And we couldn't really predict what was going to take off, but things finally did. And the other thing is, don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If what you're doing just isn't working, try something else. We've done that, and we keep trying different things, and that's why our channel took off. I started doing something differently, and all of a sudden, more views. So it's fun. We have a lot of subscribers, and we've done well.
We have done well, really well with this, and we met different people. We're out and about, meeting different people, made great friendships over the YouTube. It's just fun.
And there's two major reasons why this works, and I think it works with us. One is, there's two different things that we're so different on. When we first, we had both fished a lot when we met, but we've become a lot better, more knowledgeable since then. But we approach it so differently. In the beginning, we might go to a body of water and not do that great. Now most places we can target what we want to get them. Not always, but I would get on my phone and start reading, research about different species, about the water, about all these things, like barometric pressure, the moose cycles, whatever. If I could find science about something and learn that way. Meanwhile, he's out walking to anywhere visible with our traps and talking to people. And an hour later, he comes back and he's like, okay, that guy has fished here for 40 years and he just told me about a drop off over there and where the smells are, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just telling him about this research I read. I'm like, blah, 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 and all this. A toke's favorite color is red, so I'm going to jig with a red lure. Not really, but stuff like that. And it's the combination, both of those are so valuable. Yeah. And the combination, I think that made us so much more successful.
Yeah. I mean, Sarah does a lot of the research. I'm more hands-on kind of research where you're
Yeah.
studied it and researched it, and
Yeah.
so it makes us really on there. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've gotten better. And the other part where we're complete opposites, but it works, is like I'm so comfortable on camera. Like that's come totally natural for me. If somebody told me to film myself for 12 hours, I'd be like, okay, cool. And he's good on camera, but it's not as natural for him.
No.
But in person, it's so opposite. And I should probably make an apology to people who have met us and I'm just like blank. Oh my God, there was one time a guy came up to me and he's like, hey, I love your channel. And he's talking about certain videos I did. And I'm just like, thanks. And I think that's literally all I said.
Well, I'm the guy. He's like, oh yeah, definitely. Tell me about that channel. What did you like about that one video? And you know, definitely just having topics about fishing or just wherever the conversation takes us. You know, just having a great main conversation. You know. If
you meet us, you will be his friend.
Oh
I
yes.
guarantee you will have.
Yes.
So if you see us, it's totally worth it to come talk to us because he's going to be your friend. And I want to talk to people, but it's like I just draw a blank. Sometimes if he talks to somebody for half an hour, finally I'll just like it clicks and I start talking. But it's just funny how we're opposite on camera. It's so easy for me and not in person, and he's the opposite. But hey, yeah, we've loved everybody we've met.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Even the people we haven't met. Thank you for the subscribers,
exactly.
the people who've commented on our page. We want more comments. Give us more comments.
Yeah, yeah. So always. Wow.
That was a good one.
Always feel free to come talk to us. We love to talk to people, especially him. He's so good at it, and you'll make a new friend.
Yeah, definitely, and please. I mean, I think one time he was out camping. Just a little small story. He was out camping and. I walked by this campsite 3 or 4 times. The 4th time I walked by, and these guys, come here, get over here. And you know, he was a cop from Massachusetts. His friend was a lawyer. Was sitting around the fire, having a good time. And Sarah thought she'd have to send a search and rescue. She didn't know where I was.
I thought he was dead. I'm not even kidding. We had one of the dogs with us, and I was there. We were tent camping, and I'm like, oh my God, he has the keys. I'm trapped here with the dogs. There's no cell phone service. What am I going to do? And I finally went looking for him, and I finally could hear him laughing going on. I'm like, oh, okay. There was a river right there with a big bank. I'm like, oh my God, he fell in.
Yeah. But like I said, we are going to do some new stuff. We want to dabble into some other stuff just to give you guys more content. And I think it will be great. Some of the things that we're brainstorming what we want to have about the podcast.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into that. And I think it's the podcast, you know, is a lot of great things, some Maine humor.
Oh, yeah.
And some just about Maine in general.
Yeah.
You know, I might even get Sarah and just start asking her questions.
That's a good idea.
What she likes about the Maine outdoors and what got her into a Maine guide and stuff like that. So, you know, definitely want to do that. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah. And one thing we're going to have with probably most episodes is a story. So since I thought of this, I'm going to go first tonight with a story. It's fishing, hunting, something outdoors related. So this is a story that happened to me, and man, do I wish I had this on video. Very recently, on the pond we live on. I went out in the kayak, and down the pond there's some ledges, and there's like a big bowl in front of the ledges that drops off quick and gets deep. As you might guess, togue hang out there. So, and I've caught a few good ones out there. And I like to actually fish, like get out of the kayak and get on the ledges and fish. It's beautiful. It faces west and the sunset is amazing there. So I went out, and I can't cast from on the ledges because there's trees. And even if I could, I don't think I'd actually get it out far enough. So I take the kayak and I cast both poles out where I want them, from a ways out in front of the ledges. So I'm far enough out. And then I leave the bail open and kind of back the kayak up, put the poles on the ledges, and there's a place I can tie the kayak up and get out and sit there between the poles. I'm super paranoid when I do that. Like at that point, I'm fishing with smelts on bottom, of course. I'm always afraid that a fish is going to come take it and just run with it so fast that it'll spool me and take my pole into the water. So I just sit there in between them and I pay attention. Well, I looked at both the poles, looked down the pond, there's a guy in a canoe, fly fishing. I was kind of watching him standing in the canoe and he was like kept kind of tipping. And I swear I only watched him for like 5 seconds. It must have been longer. Because I heard a noise to my left and I looked, bloop, there went my pole. And before I could stand up, it was gone. Like I couldn't see it anymore. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, that's a togue. And I'm like, there was no way I could get in. It drops off like this and it's way over my head and it's like that slippery, slimy rock. I couldn't go in after it. And I was freaking out, like, I love that pole. And what am I gonna do? So I jumped in the kayak. The dog's just broken. Great. No, you're gonna knock the thing over. Come see your father.
Yeah.
So I jumped in the kayak.
Well, here comes.
Or they're all coming in.
They're all coming in.
I jumped in the kayak and I went out and I'm looking and looking. I'm like, this is pointless. That fish is across the pond by now. But I kept looking. I was like, I gotta do my due diligence. And I saw my line. So then I kept following the line and it was all like limbs and branches. I'm like, I'm never gonna find it. There it was. There was my pole. So it was trying to go out and there was a branch right here and the reel got kind of wedged under it. And I see tug, tug, tug. I'm like, crap, the fish is still on it. It's like 6 feet down. And I kept glancing up. My other pole was like right there. I'm like, oh, I don't want the same thing to happen.
Sure.
So of course I tried reaching down with a paddle, which if you kayak, you realize that just pushed me away. Like, what am I gonna do? So I couldn't go far, but I thought maybe I can get a stick. Here comes the other one.
We get one, we get all three.
He's shy, so he might. Yeah, hi. Why don't you come sit down? We'll be a nice little family picture here. So I kept looking around, like, I'm not gonna find a stick. I did. It was like probably 6.5 feet long, and there was a Y on the end. I'm like, oh, I could hook it with this. So I go back over, and it was pathetic. I probably tried 30, 40 times to reach down. I couldn't get it, and the wind kept blowing my kayak on top of the pole. I'm like, this is hopeless. Oh, good girl. I'm like, this is hopeless. It's gone. This is over. Abandon it. And I couldn't see any tug anymore, so I'm like, the fish got off. You know, hopefully it dislodged the hook and it's gone. And I just said, one more try. And I hooked it and moved it like 2 inches up. Falls back down. I said, one more try. And I was blindly, the wind was blowing me. I was blindly reaching down and I got it. And it was heavy with that branch on it and the pole. I had to bring both of them up. Got it to the surface and I'm like, oh, I'm going to lose it. Pushed the branch off, grabbed the tip of my pole while dropping the stick I had the tip of my pole in my hand, brought it in. I was so excited. No, come here, Moxie. No, you'll knock it over and they'll break my phone. I was like, I got it. I can't believe it. I can save my pole. Started reeling. The fish was still there. I'm like, oh crap. All my line out. It was really far away. I started reeling and it's taking me out into the pond. And I look back, I'm like, uh-oh, my other pole's sitting there. This isn't going to happen twice, is it? I reeled and reeled and reeled and it was a heavy fish. But the closer I got, it stopped fighting. It had clear. I mean, this has been half an hour. It's been on the line by the time I was doing this. It got pretty tired, and it was dead weight coming up. And when the water's so clear, I could see it from far away. I'm like, oh, that's a beautiful togue. That's a beautiful fish. And it just kind of floated to the surface. It was done. And I'm like, my net's over there. So I got it over close to me, and I'm like, I'm just gonna have to reach in and grab. It was way too big for me to grab it with my hand. I said, yeah, why don't you sit, bud?
Sit.
Good boy.
Whoa.
I said, I'm just going to keep the fish. This fish has had it. So no harm if I grab it by the gills. And I reached down and it gave a final fight and I thought it was coming off. I thought it was going to snap it. But I got it with the gills and got it in my kayak. That was the hardest fought fish ever. I mean, it was at least a half an hour, and I booked it back and my other pole was sitting there just fine. Hardest fought fish in my life. That was one beautiful togue. I will put a picture up at the end. If I had had my camera going, that would have been amazing. But it was 21 inches and it was very wide around. It was some good meat. That was one heck of an experience. And it just, like, I don't know how I ended up hooking that. It was just like blindly fishing that up.
Yeah.
I really don't know how I did that, but that was I was so excited. I didn't get another bite that night, but I didn't care. I came home with a good fish and a good story.
That was a good story. That was definitely a good one. I mean, just the different things that we've seen and we've done. Like, remember the spring we saw, like, what, 10 bear that one spring?
I know, that was crazy. I've seen a lot of bear, but that spring it was like
we've seen a
one
lot
right
of bear.
after another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've seen a lot of bear. I mean, just...
I have bear stories. I'll do in other videos too.
Yeah, we just enjoy this, just the outdoors. I mean, I'd rather, and I know I'm just as guilty as anybody else sitting in front of the TV, but I'd rather be outdoors and just having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, just
kidding.
Going out camping, and maybe we'll do a story in front of a campfire here.
Yeah, we have
someday.
a fire pit.
Yeah.
We're very lucky here. We're on the water with a fire pit. I mean, out in the woods.
Yeah.
We can't beat it. We're really lucky here. But hopefully that thunder's passed. I don't hear anymore. That's why they all came down here, because it's thundering and they're scared.
Yeah, the puppies are scared. Well, they're not puppies.
No.
Pain in the butt. Especially Gatadin. I know that you've probably seen her since she was a puppy, but she is definitely a handful. German short-haired pointers are just so much energy, and her nose, and she wants to be snipping everything, and yeah.
We're so used to Daisy and Moxie, who are incredibly well behaved. We're so fortunate with them.
Yeah.
She's not well behaved.
No. She just wants to be nosy.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just we have a lot of stories, and
if you have a topic you want us to talk about, heck yeah,
ask. Have us. We'll talk about it. And if you have a story, maybe we can invite you on the over, and we can talk about it.
That would be awesome.
We'll come to your place, and we'll talk about the story and get you on YouTube.
Yeah, that would be awesome. All right. Oh, we're grumbling and
your puzzle.
Don't chew my puzzle. Okay. All right. That's it for episode 1. I gotta remember to put a fish picture in, and that does it.
Yeah.
Do another one in a week or so.
Talk to you in a little bit.